He sat across from me at dinner 2 nights before his next work trip, reaching for my hand, looking me straight in the eyes and saying, "I know the travel has been hard on you. I promise these are just business. As soon as this quarter closes, I'll push back on the assignments. We'll get our weekends back." His voice was steady, warm, the same tone he used when he proposed. I let myself believe him because I wanted our life to stay intact. Then, the morning he left for the airport, a folded white hotel receipt slid out of his winter coat pocket while I was hanging it up, and the name at the top wasn't the conference hotel in Dallas he'd shown me on the company calendar. It was a boutique place in Santa Monica, charged for 3 nights, with a second key issued to the room. My name is Harper. I'm 37, a pediatric nurse practitioner in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Julian and I have been married 10 years. We live in a narrow craftsman house in Linden Hills, the one with the lilac bushes we planted the summer we moved in, and the kitchen island where we still eat most meals because the dining table is usually covered in my charts or his spreadsheets. We met on a flight delay in Chicago. He offered me half his sandwich, and we talked until they finally called our gate at 2 in the morning. Everyone who knows us says we're the couple that still chooses each other every day. We host potlucks, take annual camping trips to the Boundary Waters, and have a joint savings account labeled Future Kids or World Travel. We'll decide later. For a long time that label felt like a promise instead of a stall. The extra trip started 18 months ago. First one a month, then 2, then stretches of 4 or 5 days gone. He'd FaceTime from hotel rooms, show me the view, tell me about client dinners and strategy sessions. He always brought something home. A bar of local soap, a bag of coffee beans, a postcard for the fridge. I told myself the distance was temporary, that supporting his career was part of loving him. But the house grew quieter. We stopped lingering in bed on Saturday mornings. He'd fall asleep with his back to me, phone clutched under his pillow. When I asked if everything was okay, he'd pull me close and say, "Just tired, babe. I'm doing this for us." I swallowed the worry because accusing him felt like betraying the trust we'd spent a decade building. That Thursday morning he kissed me goodbye before dawn, suitcase already in the car, reminding me he'd be back Sunday night. I waved from the porch in my robe, coffee getting cold in my hand. After his taillights disappeared, I went inside to straighten up before my shift. His wool coat was draped over the banister. He'd worn it because the forecast showed snow. When I picked it up to hang it properly, something fluttered to the floor. A plain white receipt folded small, like it had been tucked deep in an inside pocket. I almost threw it in the recycling with the dry cleaning tags. Instead I unfolded it. The hotel logo was unfamiliar. The address was Santa Monica, California. Check-in date was 2 weeks earlier. The trip he'd told me was Dallas for the annual sales conference. 3 nights, king bed, ocean view upgrade. Room service charges for 2 breakfasts, 2 dinners, several bottles of wine. At the bottom in small print, additional key issued. My knees gave out. I sat on the bottom stair and read it again, then a 3rd time, looking for any explanation that didn't break my heart. There wasn't one. He landed in California. I knew his flight time, and I texted him a photo of the receipt with no caption. The 3 dots appeared, vanished, appeared again. Then his call came through. "Harper. That's not the Dallas hotel, Julian." Silence stretched so long I thought the call dropped. "I can explain," he said finally. "Start now." He sighed, the sound of someone caught, not surprised. "Her name is Naomi. She's on the West Coast team. It started 6 months ago at a regional meeting. I didn't plan it. 6 months. Half a year of extra trips I'd packed for, of goodnight calls I'd waited up for. All the promises about cutting back on travel," I said. "Were those lies too?" "I meant them when I said them," he answered. "I kept thinking I'd end it after the next trip. I didn't want to lose what we have." "What we have," I repeated. "You've been sharing a bed with someone else while I've been holding down everything here." "I know." His voice cracked then. "I know how bad this is. Who is she to you?" Another pause. "Someone who doesn't know the everyday version of me. No mortgage talks, no laundry arguments, no future plans. Just escape." Escape. The word cut deepest. "And me?" I asked. "What was I?" He didn't answer right away. "Home," he said finally. "Safe. Real. The part one didn't want to lose. Safe. The life we'd built was the part he kept, while he took excitement elsewhere. I hung up without another word. He flew home that night instead of Sunday. I heard his key in the door at 1 a.m. I was on the couch, lights off, the receipt on the coffee table like evidence. He sat in the armchair across from me, still in his travel clothes. "I ended it," he said. "I told her today it's over. That's not the point anymore." "I know." He leaned forward, elbows on knees. "I don't expect forgiveness overnight. I'll do whatever you need, counseling, space, transparency. I don't want to lose you." But the damage wasn't just the affair. It was the slow realization that he'd been willing to risk everything we'd created for something temporary. That every time he'd come home and held me, part of him had been somewhere else. "I need you to leave for now," I said. "Stay at your brother's or a hotel. I can't think with you here." He nodded, eyes red. He packed a bag without protest and left again before sunrise. The weeks after were heavy. I functioned, work, groceries, walks around the lake, but everything felt muffled. Friends brought soup and listened while I cried. I told our families the truth in careful sentences. Some blamed him, some urged reconciliation, all hurt for me. Julian begged to come home. He offered phone records, location sharing, separate finances, anything to prove he was done lying. I listened, but the trust had cracked in a place I couldn't yet reach. We started counseling separately, then together. He owned every choice without excuses. Slowly, painfully, we talked about what he'd been running from: pressure to provide, fear of routine, the parts of himself he thought he'd outgrown. I talked about the loneliness I'd ignored to keep peace. 10 months later, he still lives in an apartment across the river. We share dinners twice a week, attend our niece's birthday parties side by side, text about the lilacs blooming. The kids' question hasn't been settled. Some days I think we'll rebuild. Others I think the fracture is permanent. I'm learning I don't have to decide today. I kept the house. I repainted the bedroom a soft cedar green. Bought new sheets that don't remind me of hotel ones. Started weekend pottery classes at the community center. I date sometimes, coffee, nothing serious. I'm in no rush. If your partner's promises start to feel like postponements, if the trips multiply and the intimacy shrinks, trust the quiet signals your body sends. Love shouldn't require you to override your instincts for years. You deserve someone whose word matches their actions, whose home is with you, not an escape from you. I learned that from a slip of paper in a coat pocket, and though it shattered the life I thought was mine, it gave me the clearer path to whatever life comes next.